for a possible debt cancellation. Citi News' Sami Wiafe has more.
At a meeting with the visiting German Federal Minister for Development at the Jubilee House, Ken Ofori-Atta says the successful implementation $1 billion balance of payment support from the IMF in March. Mr. Ofori-Atta says government will seek debt cancellation from members of the Paris Club who hold majority of Ghana's external bonds.
Last week, we concluded with the domestic debt treatment and already began the discussions with the Paris Club, which is a very important part of ensuring that we get to the board by mid-March. The issue of the common framework has been problematic for Africa, Zambia, Ethiopia, Chad, and therefore in going into that, we're very categorical that it has to be fast-tracked, and therefore they have to set up their creditor committee very quickly. They've acceded as to how China will comport themselves in that for comparability of treatment, because China wants to do a bilateral. We will be visiting China at the end of the week to really discuss how they come into the envelope as quickly as possible. The German Minister of Finance was clear that he will put his weight behind ensuring that everybody is in the common framework so that we move quickly. So we are looking for that support from them. China represents about a third of the loan, the 5.7 billion loan to the bilaterals. And so it's important that we engage them strongly, especially before the G20 meetings.
The German Minister for Development, Junda Skurs, says Germany will help Ghana address its economic challenges.
I know that Ghana is really hard fighting against the spillover effects from Sahel, and that is the topic we want to discuss here, what we can do to work together on that. The Sahel Alliance is the alliance of the donors, and I think we need more walk the talk and need to discuss how we can also help Ghana and the other ones to get to deal with these spillover effects.
The president, on his part, expressed confidence that the Russia-Ukraine war, which has had a devastating effect on African economies, will end soon.
The hope is that it's a war that is not going to last too long, because as you can imagine, it's had a very pernicious impact on us, on our economy, and on so many aspects of our national life. So we belong to those who are hoping that sooner, much sooner than later, a way is going to be found.
Let's talk about education now. And parents of first-year SHS students have begun picking up admissions. And February. Citi News' Anshel Ziu has more in this report.
Following the release of the placement of schools for JHS graduates, parents and their wards have begun visiting schools to pick up admission forms and prospectus. The first-year students, according to authorities, are to officially report to school on the 27th of February to begin academic work. Some parents had complained about the late release of the school placement. Then, the period to prepare their wards for school was inadequate. However, some parents whose wards have been admitted at the Chimota Senior High School say, though the time is short, they will provide all that is required to enable their wards begin the academic term.
The process is going smoothly. As you can see, people are seated, no disturbance. Everybody is just going by his or her duties. We are filling the forms and we are submitting them to the officers who processes them. For me, I started planning towards my child's school long ago. So we started buying some of his things. So as of now, I have no difficulties going through the 1 week that they have given. I'm sure by 1 week time, I will meet the deadline, and by God's grace, I will bring my child to school on the 27th.
My wife told me that we should come here latest by 8 because she was anticipating a massive crowd. And when we got here around 10:30, close to 11, and the crowd here is truly massive. But everything has been smooth so far. I don't think I've started the first course of the registration yet, so I'm yet to experience any setback. But so far, so good. Placement came in just last week, and the kids are being asked to reopen on the 27th, so that's very short. But I've not yet seen the prospectus. I don't really know the kind of stuff they will need. I completed school way back, probably 10 years ago, so maybe things have changed now. But then, whatever be the case, I'll try to push for my word. But I can't say the same for other parents because the conditions, as we all know, are not fair. Duration, which is less than 2 weeks, I think it's quite short.
Have you already planned it down or put some money down for all this, or you're now, going to see what you can do to make sure that you get all that is listed on the prospectus for your work?
I've not really put money down for it, but then whatever counts, we'll tackle.
Parents going to work in traffic and so on. And nowadays everybody increase everything that they sell. But if you come here, at least the prices are normal if you compare with outside prices.
So you are saying that they have some of the stuffs there,
almost everything here. So you don't need to stress yourself.
Go and buy.
No, you don't need to go to the market. I went online before even the results came to check what I need to buy. And if you watch carefully, there are some particular things that cut across all the schools, like whole brush, scrubbing brush, and so on. It cut across. So I bought them, but based on their online prospectus. But when I came, there's not much difference.
They also advised other parents to contribute towards the education of their wards, despite the government's free SHS program.
It's our responsibility to educate our children and to take care of them. We all know that even though they say free SHS, but it is not free. Some of the schools, you will go now and they will demand that, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for this. I've gone through some before. Even though it's free SHS, we know the challenges the schools are facing in getting food for their children. So for me, I've already made up my mind that when my son is going to school, I will get him enough provisions that can take care of him. Even if there's no food in school, as a father, it is my responsibility to feed my son. So I will not wait for government to feed him. I have made provisions for that. So when he is in school, I will make sure he doesn't go hungry. Food. Sometimes, from what we have been hearing, the food they give them at school, sometimes they take cocoa without sugar and milk. We are hearing all those things. So I'm prepared to sacrifice for my son's future.
You know that this thing will happen, so you prepare towards it. We know times are hard. You get it. But once I know it's my responsibility, why do I wait? I need to put something down. You get me? So that's what I did.
Some of the students expressed their excitement at beginning school.
I got my first choice at Chimota. I didn't struggle with the placement.
Which course did you pick?
General Science. First, before the results came, I was quite scared, but when it came, it was good, so I was happy. Then I had confidence in the placement, so I wasn't that scared about the placement.
Why at Chimota?
Because one is closer to home, two, it's a very good school. People recommended it, so I chose it.
What promise are you going to make to your parents that you would excel when you...
The WASI, I'll pass. I'll pass the WASI, and I'll learn hard.
Though parents have raised concerns over the short period given to them to prepare their wards for school, they say they would prepare their wards and ensure that they provide them with all that is needed for them to begin the academic term. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ansheli Sibu.
Let's remain with SHS issues, and parents of some candidates are lamenting the delay by the Free SHS Secretariat in addressing their challenges with respect to the school placement system brought before them as of Thursday, February 18, 2023. These parents want the Secretariat to work assiduously in resolving their concerns so they can adequately prepare before academic activities officially begin on February 2027. On February 27, I beg your pardon, 2023. There's more in this report.
No school placement and change in resident status are some of the issues some parents have raised after the announcement of the release of the school placement. The Secretariat says it has resolved close to 90% of issues brought before it. But some parents say the changes are yet to take effect. A parent, Mavis Amwa, says that the changes will take effect by the close of the weekend. That is yet to materialize.
Friday, me bahano school nya ya wada me se mepe. No mo ma no boarding. Ana me say o mo ma ni day. Ana me se mepe boarding. Ana mo ba na me say me nkyere. Na me fa mamo na mbada ne na mama. Na me see you ma, na me kyere. Na me say Sunday. Nya placement e beba. My placement na ba ya the same thing. Then na baby am tinhwan krane achem masa baby masa book ni masa to obiem e se me ndai me je sare me etipaye na aya me wu de me nya me eti kwa mo baba so mo mama me ba no bo je wonya soso a o mo kan chem na school bia o de be ma no a aya boarding o mo de be ma me no fa me ni no mo ni problem bia.
The government has set up school placement solution centers across the country to deal with candidates who have issues with their placement. Already, it has announced February 27 as the day academic work will officially begin in the various senior high schools across the country. But Felix Opoku, not his real name, laments his ward would self-placement and the changes have not yet reflected.
I was here on Friday. And they said we should write the result, we should write the names of the schools that we want. And the course. So we did exactly that. They said they will take the forms and later we should go and check on Saturday evening or Sunday morning. So I check on Saturday, I check on Sunday, even this morning I checked before coming. Friday, when I left, I saw about 2-3 people. I asked them that were they able to do their own. They said they were here on Thursday, but Friday morning they had their result. Everything sorted out. I said, okay, then maybe roughly by Monday, mine will be sorted out. But this morning when I checked, even the portal is not opening. If you open it, all the regions are locked. You can't find any school, anything at all. So I have to rush here again to come and check, and that's what they said. They said they are working on it. They are working on it. They have queued into the system, but because of the network issue, that's why we are not receiving it. So we should exercise patience to come. And in fact, they said from Monday today to Friday, the students have to report. From next week, Monday going, teaching have to start. So the question I'm asking right now: when are we going to get the placement? That's my issue now. That's my this headache is bothering me a lot.
The deputy coordinator of the Free Senior High School Secretariat, Nana Afrasika Mensah, however, explained to Citi News the reason behind the delay. She assured all concerns will be addressed by close of the week.
No, it's not that we've worked on most of the issue, but the issue here is that most of them they feel they have to come here and verify from us whether we've worked on it or not. But they need to check from the internet and find out whether it's been worked on or not. If it's still, the issue is still persistent, meaning we've not gotten spaces in the schools that they want, which we need to open up the spaces in those schools, and then we work on it. The issues that they brought here.
So basically, are there any timelines for these people who have brought in their concerns and the schools that they chose, there are no spaces? How many days is that going to take to get them their schools?
Oh no, they should just relax. They should give us by close of this week. We will work on all their issues and then they can go to school next week.
You're watching Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead. The National Labour Commission directs Energy Ministry to engage workers and management of the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, to find solutions to the current standoff between the workers and management. We'll be back with that story and others. Please stay with us.
Is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, bank and I'm not say Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050449999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
You're welcome back. Now, the National Labour Commission has directed the Energy Ministry to engage workers and management of the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, and find solutions to the current standoff between the workers and management of the company. Staff groups of NEDCO had been on strike since February 8, but called off the action on The workers have been demanding the removal of the managing director of the company, Osmani Aludiba Ayuba, for poor financial performance. My colleague Charles Owusu-Kumi has been following that story, and Charles, you can now take it over. What can you tell us?
On February 8, 2023, workers of the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, embarked on a partial strike. In that strike, they would only attend to emergency services and attend to their clients on their premises. So they weren't going to attend to any outstation demands. So if, for example, you had an issue at home or in the office and you called NEDCO, they wouldn't be available to fix it for you. Now, subsequently, they wrote a letter to the Energy Minister asking for a removal of the managing director of the company. Now, according to the workers, the MD has been superintending over a poor financial performance of the they say has been losing about 47% of electricity produced in the northern region alone, and the company, which serves the northern region, northeast, upper west, upper east regions, and some parts of Bono and Oti regions, made losses of around 400 million Ghana cedis in 2022 alone. Now, consequent to that strike, the Energy Ministry petitioned the National Labour Commission, and the Commission today, February 20, the MD and the Energy Ministry to its offices. Now, after the hearing, I caught up with the workers of NEDCO.
The Commission has listened to both sides, both parties. We've made our case. It's been taken on ruling, so it is all in the interest of resolving whatever issues are there at the company to make sure that the company is sustainable and a going concern. So for now, we will abide by the ruling. Certain timelines have been given. We'll be back on the 1st of March to report back to the Commission. There's a cooling off period. We are to call off the actions. The ministry has been directed to engage management and the staff groups to agree on the issues that we have all brought forward, which is what we expected, because for us it's the resolution of the issues. So the Commission has directed, and because it's an essential service, we need to resolve it quickly within a short time. We believe that the ministry will do as the Commission has directed, and once that is done and there's a solution to the problem, we think that's it. Life goes back to normal.
I also asked the Executive Secretary of the Labour Commission what he thought about the fact that the demands of the workers of NEDCO had nothing to do with salaries, which is usually the case when it comes to labour issues, but has to do with the welfare of the company.
From their resolution and their presentation before the committee, they kept mentioning the management. So you see that the MD is the head, but in all their references, they are referring to management. Of course, certainly he is the leader he's the managing director. So sometimes when things don't go with the ministry, that is the unions, the management, and the ministry, to find a workable solution, especially when the MD is talking about sustainability, the unions are also talking about sustainability. So you see that they have a common goal. The question is the approach to achieving the goal. So the ministry has been given the mandate to engage them and report to the Commission within 2 weeks.
My name is Charles Otukumi. I've been reporting from the National Labour Commission for Citi News.
This is Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead. The Environmental Protection Agency advises the public to wear face masks to avoid inhaling high concentrations of dust particles in the air following a recent report that placed Accra the top spot of highly polluted cities in the world. We have that story and more coming up. Please stay with us.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk,
Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
You're welcome back. Now, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is advising the general public to wear face masks to avoid inhaling high concentration of dust particles in the air. It follows a recent report that placed Accra the top spot of highly polluted cities in the world, ahead of Mumbai in India, Wuhan in China, among others. There's more in this report by Citi News' Rachel Engman and read by
in intensity of dry and dusty conditions over the past few days. This sudden change in climate has been perceived by some Ghanaians as very unusual, as the variation feels like harmattan. A report by the Air Quality Index ranking, however, ranks Accra, Ghana's capital, as the worst in regards to air quality in the world. Speaking to Citi News on the back of the recent change in the weather, a senior meteorologist at the Central Analysis and Forecast Office at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Joshua Samoa, revealed that the harmattan conditions being experienced now are as a result of dust lifted around Chad, Sudan, and Niger into the country. He has, however, assured that the situation may improve by the end of February.
We are actually still in harmattan. For most parts of the country, harmattan lasts until late February into early March, so it's still harmattan. But in every season, there are some variations that happen, and we saw some of these variations around January, when we had some moist winds from the ocean coming into the country, helping in cloud formation and then some rainfall occasionally. So the idea was that people thought, because we're seeing some rains in January, still in harmattan, even though we are getting some few cases of rainfall, but it's still harmattan, and we should expect an intensification of the harmattan to come later. And just last week on Monday, we sent an update that the week will see an intensification in the dry and dusty conditions coming into the country. The impact is actually higher for areas in the northern portions of Ghana, but for us in the southern parts too, we are also getting some of the effects. So it's still harmattan, but we are seeing an intensification of the conditions that are associated with harmattan around this time. On Monday, like I said earlier, we sent an outlook that we should expect an intensification of the dusty conditions into the country. And on Tuesday into Wednesday, we saw a lot of dust lifted in the dust source region, that's over the Sahel areas. So Sudan, Chad, Niger areas, we're all seeing dusty conditions lifted. These dusty conditions were propagated by low-level strong winds into our country. So that's what brought the dusty conditions that we are seeing here. Already there are fumes from the exhaust of cars, burning of bushes and all of those things. They introduce some pollutants into the air. So the introduction of the dust compounds this issue. And so the pollution of the air increases with the intrusion of the dust into the country. And that is what we're
has advised the public to adhere to strict safety measures, such as the wearing of face masks due to the suspension of minute dust particles and aerosols dominating the atmosphere.
The Air Quality Index recorded at the EPA's monitoring site, located at the University of Ghana between February 1st to 19th, 2023, was largely moderate, except for February 15 to 16, when it increased to unhealthy for sensitive groups, and then unhealthy to very unhealthy between high irritation of the eyes, nose, and throat, and vulnerable groups such as people with asthma, lung disease, older adults, children, and pregnant women are considered at greater risk. The Environmental Protection Agency wished to entreat the vulnerable groups to reduce outdoor activities where necessary, especially the elderly, children, pregnant women, etc. Additionally, the general public is advised to take all necessary precautionary measures, such as the use of pollution mask, nose mask, goggles for eye protection, or use air purifiers if available. Reduce outdoor activities, including physical exercise. The public is hereby informed that the agency will continue to collaborate with relevant institutions, i.e. Ghana Health Service, Ghana Meteorological Agency, DVLA, and Ghana Standard Authority, to monitor the situation for updates on our website and on the social media handles.
Some Ghanaians also shared their views with Citi News.
I find it rather awkward. I was actually surprised when I found out about this Hamatan. It's rather awkward, but then it's nature, so we just have to keep up with it. So my younger kid is actually affected. He has this cold and cough, and myself partially affected.
It brings a lot of cold, like changing climate brings so many things. Personally, to me, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because wherever I do work with such an environment all day long, so I'm okay with it.
Let's move to some other stories now. And 18 students of the University of Ghana who were arrested for allegedly causing disturbances on campus have been granted bail to the sum of 50,000 cedis. The students were picked up last week by the Ghana Police Service following a clash on the University of Ghana campus on Tuesday, February 14, 2023. The 18 were among aggrieved past and continuing students who stormed the university premises to protest management's renewed residential policy restricting continuing students from occupying the Commonwealth and Mensa Saba residential halls to make way for level 100 and graduate students. Citi News' Akosia Otri was at the court and has this report.
If you recall, 18 students of the University of Ghana were picked up right in front of the Commonwealth Hall. Well, the reason is being that the students have been against some new residential policy that have been introduced by the management of the university. And so in protest of this new residential policy, the students massed up at the Commonwealth Hall to get access into the hall, and so this led to a clash between the police and then some of these students right in front of the hall last week. And so these 18 students were arrested and were subsequently put before courts. They were remanded, and today, February 20, 2023, they are expected to arrive here to get their case heard again. And so we're expecting them to arrive here in a few minutes. So yes, we can see the police van coming in, driving in actually, and we'll see if we'll get some of these 18 students in there who were arrested. And so yes, so these are the 18 students who were arrested last week by the police for their alleged involvement in the disturbances that led to a clash between themselves and then the police. We are not really seeing a number of students here to support them. They are walking straight to the circuit court to get their case heard. So I can see a number of parents of, I believe, parents of these 18 students who have been arrested, and looking very distraught and very disturbed about the issue at hand, that is the arrest of the awards. So we'll just get in touch with some of the parents to see if they are not willing to speak to us as we speak, but we'll try and get the lawyer for these 18 persons. Remember that he's a lawyer for the 18 persons with with the exception of the first and the fourth accused person.
They were brought to the court, and the court remanded them for a number of days, 5 days, I think from last week up till today. And so they were brought to court today, and our business today was only to apply for bail, at least for them to have their freedom in the interim while the case is going on. And the judge was generous. She granted us the bail, and we are now taking steps to execute the bail that has been granted to us.
Okay. On what condition did she grant the bail?
Well, I mean, are you talking about the conditions of the bail? Yes. I mean, the conditions were favorable. I think they have to provide 2 common sureties without justification. Okay, so 2 common sureties without justification. What this means is that they have to get 2 people who would guarantee that these students will be available to go through the trial as and when they are needed before the court, and we are taking steps to get that done by close of today.
Okay, so you're sure that by today you'd get all the students free?
Well, that's our expectation actually. These administrative processes of the court can be a bit, can delay a bit, and so we are now applying for the order of the court. It has to be typed and given to us. We have to serve on the police, for them to know exactly what they are supposed to do, and so it can take some time. But I'm only hoping that we'll be able to execute the bail for these kids to go back to school. I think school is about 5 weeks into the semester, and they have been held for 5 days already. They have missed lectures for 5 good days already. From the beginning of the semester, they've been going through a lot. No accommodation, being randomly reassigned to other halls. They haven't gotten money to pay the fees and all. They've lectures as the case goes on.
The 18 students of the University of Ghana who were arrested last week for their alleged involvement in some disturbances that we saw last week on campus have been granted bail. But for management of the institution, they have given all indications or reiterated their stance on heightening security on campus to ensure that what happened last week does not reoccur. Reporting from the Accra Circuit Court 4 in Accra, my name is Akosi Aoche for Citi News.
Well, that would be it for Citi Newsroom on Citi TV from our studios in Tesano. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more stories. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video contents from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. Thank you for being with us.
The Heritage Caravan 2023 is officially sold out. Get